Hey, this is Les from the TV Dudes. As part of our special coverage of Boston Film Festival's 26th year, I was lucky enough to chat with writer Kristina Thomas. She won the Writer's Assistant Network Pilot Workshop and was a former writer on the web series The Rise of Theo and the Romeos for Issa Rae's production company. She's been on shows such as HBO's Lovecraft Country, Haunting of Hill House Season 2, Haunting of Bly Manor, Being Mary Jane, The New Edition Story, and more. We talk about how her career path differs from what she expected, how playing dodgeball helps her relieve stress, and how important mentors have been to her development. It's a really great chat, and I hope you enjoy. There is a bit of an audio issue at the start, but it clears up quick, and I hope you'll bear with us.
But you've also worked on Lovecraft Country, The New Edition Story. There's a variety of stuff. Can you talk a little bit about your career path so far and kind of where that path lays next to what you had expected? Maybe the kind of shows or your path to be when you were, in high school writing.
Yeah, I completely thought I was going to do like everything. I didn't specifically think I was going to do straight drama. My path was I was going to be a lawyer. In high school, I worked as a youth attorney for a downtown youth court in California, and I tried cases. They just didn't get jail time. They got like volunteer hours, anger management, those kind of things. But I did one report on Golden Parks, and that kind of like took me into filmmaking. And I got my education at Howard, got my education at USC, and I found that I still liked both. And literally now I have a lit manager. He was just like, look, you have more drama stuff, so let's gear towards that. And you've worked more drama shows, so again, let's just gear towards that. Even though I do have fun with comedy, because I just did a short called House of Balls about my time playing dodgeball.
And so House of Balls is your short about playing dodgeball, right?
Yes. I've been playing for 9 years.
Wow, that's I think the longest I've ever known anybody playing dodgeball. There's a kickball league in Austin.
And you guys have a dodgeball league.
And we have a dodgeball league, and there's also a bocce ball league.
Yeah.
I have friends that play all sorts of, I guess, sports for folks that have already broken a leg or blown out a knee or something.
Yeah.
My friends that play bocce ball are all of my like knee surgery friends who are like, no, this is great. I'm in a league again.
It's addictive, and also when you play with adults, they get it. Like the reason why I played dodgeball was when I was in grad school. I was in a pitch class, and the guy's son, he was just like, yeah, I play dodgeball to relieve stress when I'm trying to figure out a note behind a note. And I was like, really? Is it really dodgeball? He was like, look it up. And I looked it up, and I've been playing ever since, and literally that's helped me with my writing.
Because everybody always thinks of, like, when my friend started playing kickball, I was like, oh yeah, everybody has pretty good memories of kickball, but dodgeball is pretty much split down the middle. Mm-hmm. You were either the kids that thought dodgeball was the greatest because you actually wailed on kids, or you were one of the kids that got wailed on. I was in the latter group and despised dodgeball as a kid. Like, why do we have to play this torture? Yeah. As an adult coming to it as a stress relief, was it different for you? Did you have memories like that of it?
I didn't. I always thought it was fun. But I had a great like school, like elementary school that I grew up in. But I think for the most part, it's really helped me because 80% of the league in LA, most of us are in entertainment. So a lot of us, I literally shut my brain off when I'm playing dodgeball. And when I come out of it, like after practice, I'm like, oh, that's what I meant to say on that one character. Oh, this is what, and I go straight into writing, like when I get home sometimes, because I literally have now opened my mind up to things I wasn't thinking until afterwards.
Do you feel like that kind of Zen moment or meditate, whatever you want to call it, that stepping outside yourself, taking a breath, going back to your project, has that changed for you since, working on writing when you were young and there weren't career pressures on it? Did you have a different system of stepping out and stepping back, or is that something that's had to arise because of the formality of career pressure of now you've got to write for work?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of just people now having the pressure of
now they're writing and they have to write.
But it's so similar to that joy that you started doing, we all started doing art when it was just art for us as kids. And then at some point there's a formal process and a job structure of it and a couple hundred people on set that won't work if you don't finish this rewrite.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I do miss and I wish I got back was journal writing. I have books and books in my parents' garage and they're like, we gotta throw it out. I'm like, no, keep it. Like, I don't know, one day I'll write a book and I'll insert these pages.
The presidential library alone will need them, right?
Yes, and I think that's one of the things I do miss. Journal writing is like every now and again I'll write and journal write and it'll work out, but sometimes it won't. But I think having every now and again I will meditate, but I need to get outside the house. And I kind of do like what Jim Carrey he did. I'll drive around Baldwin Hills, which is like the upper class black neighborhood in LA, and I'll pick a home that I want to live in one day. And literally I did that before I came to Austin, and I finally finished like an act of an outline I'm writing for my manager right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think kind of keeping focused on a theoretical future kind of helps keep you aligned with, I don't feel like doing this, no, I should put my butt in the chair, I want that house?
Yeah, because then yes, I also want that house with the picket fence. But also I think I finally get to see like, okay, this is what I'm working towards, to finally like having a space of my own. And also I'm happy now, but I would want what I wanted when I was a kid. I want to have that yard where I can grow apples and lemons and all that good stuff. Call me crazy, call me looking at the Barbie dream, but I look forward to those things on top of writing something that I'm really like happy and excited to do.
I know working professionally, having a manager, sometimes you can be aimed at projects like why don't we focus you more towards drama or focus you more towards certain things. But for you, when you look at your own work and what makes you excited to go start a project, the times where you think of something and it just suddenly jumps to the top of the list of like, that's what I've got to work on.
Yeah.
What kind of themes do you notice keep coming up for you? What's fun for you to write?
What's fun for me to write is people who are dramatic, people who I grew up with. I went to an all-girls school for high school, and everybody was super dramatic in some type of way, but we all had a certain level. If you broke down every layer of each other, it was either family issues, it was one of my friends was coming out, but also she had severe depression. I was going through my own depression as well, but it was like we were all going through these different things, and I still look back to this day, I'm just like, I want people to relate to what I went through when I was young and what I'm going through now. And almost everybody in LA will tell you they all have a therapist to bring back those memories. But I think it comes easily for me because I love watching shows where literally it's in contrast to what I've gone through and people can relate to, and it's kind of a relief. Like This Is Us is one of my favorite shows, and my friend is now a producer on that show, and some of the dialogue on one of her episodes, I was like, yes, you did that.
Yeah, those moments where somebody says something so true and you're like, oh, how is that on TV? Reading my journal, I'm not writing.
I know. It hurts sometimes.
I love the idea of therapy not as a way to solve your own BS, but as a way to facilitate dredging up childhood crap for scripts. I love that idea.
Yes. It happened one time. What happened with the recent script that I'm getting produced right now is my feature called Worth It. A guy that I was like so in love with, I was going to move cross country for, he did not show up. I was waiting all day in New York.
Oh my God.
From LA. And I got on the bus, and because I was going to go to DC that day to go visit a friend after I told him I love you and this, and he told me on the phone, like all in short, he was just like, you weren't worth it. And then the phone clicked. And literally, my friend was like, you have to write it.
You have to write that down, like right now, right?
And I was like, no, but I had to go through my own writing journey of like, how do I write that? And how do I not make it about me, but about a process of healing and what people go on a daily basis with love and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because there's a certain amount of power that story has, just being your story about you. But yeah, if you can find a way to make it click for people sitting at home. In my own depression and art making and writing, I have always wished that it were as simple as let's just write our way out of this depression.
Yeah.
We're like, what's making me sad? Let's write it all down. And it's the lethargy and inertia that can come with that depression that's just always made it like, no, I have all this to say and no
I know.
ability to say it. When it came to pushing through that for yourself, for your friends, what do you think kind of most helped you decide that the things you had to say were worth writing down and not going to hurt anybody for you putting them out there?
Yeah, it was hard because the feature, my friends knew that guy, and a lot of them stopped talking to me because they called me the crazy person. Because again, I didn't know in the story of what my process was and what it was during that time. And now I know what it was. It was depression. It was having to deal with, breaking up with someone that I trusted and put all my love into, but also it was like forcing. I was in my 20s. I was forcing all of that. And again, when you're writing, it's a process of like figuring out your characters. And also my friend is helping me now with that, of just like really breaking down your characters. Like this character, what kind of emotions are they going through? What is the mental and what is the present dangers that they're going through? And I think that is therapeutic to me because it's helped me grow as a person within my therapy and within my depression of coming to terms. And even my friends have said that. They're like, you've become like really like a better friend recently. I was like, yeah, because now I'm accepting my anger at times and accepting my like, sometimes I can't talk to anybody because I'm going through my own personal journey of I really want to write this story, but I just want to sleep today because I'm having a moment. And literally that's why I had to like go and drive through Baldwin Hills. And after that I was like, okay, now I know what I need to type, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine being in the in-between space of having projects that you really love, having projects that you ought to work on, and then still having that nagging feeling that we all have in the back of our head of, is there some perfect project that I could dream up that would hit a market just right?
Yeah.
And how many times we've all been warned to not, don't try to do that. Don't go, oh, there's no Game of Thrones, I should write something with dragons.
Yes.
Like, that's really not going to usually not how that works.
Yeah. And you have to have good mentors too.
That's one thing I actually wanted to talk to you about, is the mentor-mentoree process and how that's helped you or what you feel you've gotten out of.
Yeah, I've recently now have three fantastic, amazing female mentors. At first it was just always male. And they even told me, they were like, you need to get a female because they relate to you.
Do you think that's an unconscious kind of sanctimonious guy thing?
No, it isn't. It's literally, I think still females, and especially women of color, we kind of pit each other against each other. It's like this unknown world where we're just like, we have to be better than them. If we help them and then they get ahead of us, then I've just messed up my whole career.
If there's only one spot. And so.
Yeah, and it should not be that way. And I think the whole thing with what's going on with assistants right now, with us getting a union and all that, and talking out in variety about being not being paid, it's kind of brought us together of just like, oh, we need to come in solidarity. We need to stop like pitting each other against each other. And I think the male figures, Abdul Williams, who wrote New Edition, I remember I met him at a book fair, and he literally gave me his number and he let me talk to him, and I fell off because I was like, I'm not good enough to like talk to him. And then a year later I get an interview and it's for New Edition, and he was like, you didn't call me back. But I never had that with mostly females. It just was like, if you fell off, you fell off. With usually the men that I met, they were just like, what's going on? What's poppin'?
That you just mentioned about they're pitying me, I can't talk to them, why do they want to talk to me? Like, I shouldn't call that guy back, or I shouldn't, so-and-so said they'd read a thing for me, but I'm not going to send them anything because they didn't really mean it, or whatever mean thing your brain said. That happens so often, I think, to so many people, and I feel like it kills so many opportunities for mentoring that we don't even think are happening.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. And now my female mentors, who they're producer level, co-executive producer level, I don't know if that made the difference, but they are freaking amazing, and they are upfront, very forward with me, and they're just like, oh, so you're not going to call me back? And it would be very jokingly, but very serious, because they want to make sure that I'm okay, and if I need anything from them, and just update them on stuff. And I actually do need to email them, because it's been 2 months, and I know they're going to yell at me when I update them. But at the same time, they're still going to be happy for me and embrace me. And I guess it took me to be on several shows, and then for me to break down at one point and just say like, yeah, I don't have any female mentors that really look after me or just want to talk to me, and just
I feel like often on starting out in careers, it can be huge to normalize just the idea that this job is a thing and that there are other people that look like me that are doing this thing. And that it's not just, there's that transition moment from your friends that you had growing up who were probably all also creative. But then there's a wall at some point where a lot of us go off and get office jobs instead. And then a handful of people, I don't know, burn everything they own and move to LA or whatever just life-altering change people make. And then from there, it becomes this process of normalizing that. You said you'd met one mentor at a book fair, but in general, when you decided I need help from above to see what is this career path, where did you start looking for mentors?
I tried to look for him in the writer's room when I started, but literally he probably was going to be like, I'm not your mentor, I'm just your friend. But my friend Hank, he was introduced to me through another mutual friend through email, and he was a writer's PA on Blackish. And again, I was trying to get in the writer's room, and he emailed me. He was like, hey, if you ever want to talk, let me know. And I emailed him back. I was like, hey, my name is Kristina. I'm really depressed. I think I'm like going to die soon. And I just need somebody to talk to understand. Like literally was being so honest because I was just like done with it.
Yeah.
Because I just finished a director's assistant position on a show, and I felt like I would never move forward. And he wrote me back and he was like, I hope you're okay. We should talk soon. And our friendship built through that. And then 2 months later, he was on New Edition and he got staffed. And he was like, hey, I got you an interview at Blackish, and I got you an interview with New Edition. Could not make it for some reason to the Blackish one. Made it to the New Edition, and then met Abdul, and he was like, why didn't you call me back? Got the job. And Hank, he still to this day is like, he'll check in on me. He was like, just want to make sure you're okay. And I hope you're doing great. And so,
in terms of trying to get going from the collaborative writer's room, there's a showrunner, there's a bunch of us, to making Worth It. What's been the biggest struggle in terms of transition to trying to get like your own project made?
Finding people that are actually serious. I was with a producer, making quote marks, for 3 years, and he was also my friend. And he was working for a producer. And I ended up actually working as a office PA on Blind Spotting, the same company, with the producer he worked for. And I was like, oh, he is learning so much because now I'm working with him in Blind Spotting. I love, I'm from the Oakland, so I'm like, yes. But he didn't know how to do a budget. He didn't know, he kept on saying, oh, I'll get the budget later. And that was the one thing I was putting myself out there, putting it on Facebook, putting it on Twitter, like, who can meet me? He was like, I can't do it. And finally, when he did it, he just copied and pasted another budget. And then he blamed it on me. And I was like, okay, I gotta do this in another way. And I really just put the word out. And now, and I don't know if anybody has talked to you about it, there are Facebook groups for the assistants, and especially for the female assistants. And I reached out to them, and I think that's how I started connecting. I started connecting with other female assistants, and then just generally male and female assistants. And they were helpful with just putting me in touch with different producers. And I ended up meeting the one person that I've known for about a year now. He came to my birthday because he was referred by another colleague that I worked at Bad Robot with. And now he's helping me produce it. And he's a VFX coordinator. But he's very he relates to my feature because he went through that previous situation with the relationship that he's gone through. And just the formalities of everything, it's like the people around you. Sometimes they'll love your story so much that they want to put themselves in the position of helping you in some way.
That's the recent Dark Crystal series. It was just on Netflix.
Yeah.
Hallie Stanford, the EP for it, talked about that being like a 10 to 15 year gestation for that show. Jeez. Because they would slowly find producers and it was slowly assembling a team that really loved Dark Crystal from when they were kids, because there didn't seem to be any in between. Either people were like, what?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make that. Or you'd see the one executive in the room that would be like, oh, let's do it. And so she said it was like 10 years of collecting people who were dead serious about making this happen.
Yeah.
And then it went from animated to puppets to like all these kind of different, but she was kind of assembling those people who were serious about it and had that fire about your idea.
Yeah, and it's hard because some of the first people are going to be your friends. And now me and my friend, we have now, like, we're all good. But it's just like, you have to make sure when you usually work with your friends, especially, that you have to first get a contract. Because nothing can break that contract. You said this, and this.
Yeah, what are the deliverables here?
Yeah, and I learned the hard way, which I still love him to this day, but I think we should have had a contract. And second of all, just agreeing that they have to love the story. I think that's another thing. Some people, they just work on a project just to work on it, but you really need to find people that really love your project or are really just like excited to learn and do it and like really execute everything.
Thank you so much for talking to me about all of it today. And
hopefully it was helpful.
Yes. Do you have big plans for the rest of the festival? Anything you're really excited to see?
I think the only thing I wanted to see was the obituary of Tunde. And my friends' two short films, BB. And I'm going to miss it because I'm going to be at a roundtable speaking today, and then I'm speaking at the support staff on tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, the short films this year, I'm usually not the biggest. Short films usually don't make it on my radar, and for some reason this year, it seems like almost everything I'm going to see is either short films or low-budget TV episodes. I'm really looking forward to it.
It happens.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.